and welcome to the Life Balance Podcast with myself, Lisa Smith, and Carol Watson.
Hello.
And so the Life Balance Podcast, we focus mainly on all things entrepreneurial. We also focus on how to juggle it all between, life and work, a little bit of life balance.
Yeah.
We sprinkle in a little bit of property, because that's what we're both focused on. And we also talk a lot about mindset, because
so important in all areas.
Key in both your work life and your private life as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today we wanted to talk to you about success. So success in your life and other people's comfort zones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, everyone will understand this. It's just that it's maybe not. You've maybe not heard of it explained in this way before, but you impact people's comfort zones.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what a comfort zone actually is, and then the reason that it causes a bit of upset when you maybe change a little bit, and why that upsets other people, and then speak about how you deal with it, if you can deal with it at all.
And if you think about the examples in your life as we talk through this, it will completely make sense. You'll be like, why did that person react that way?
Yeah.
This is why, because you were probably part of their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So define, what is a comfort zone? What is someone's comfort zone? So probably the easiest way to define it for me, in my experience, a comfort zone. So I think I've talked about this in previous podcasts. I'm not meant for the 9-to-5 life, and it's not that I don't enjoy working 9 to 5. That's not the case. It's just the whole getting up at the same time every day, commuting the same route every day, going into the same office every day, seeing the same people every day, doing the same work every day, having the same lunch break every day, having the same tea break every day, coming home at the same time every day.
It's like Groundhog Day.
And honestly, people that love routine completely, they'll love it, and that's their comfort zone, and that's what they like. And for
I think you relate comfort zone to a 9 to 5 because that was your comfort zone, and that's what you left to come into property. So and it's very easy
to get caught up in it. So because I've been employed most of my life, I think. The only times that I really felt a little bit free, that sounds terrible, but that's not quite what I mean. The only time that I felt out with my comfort zone was at university. When I had there was different assessments that you were going through all the time. You had to get different jobs for different seasons and everything like that. It was all very much a comfort zone stretch, and you got used to always being out your comfort zone, and you were always growing. And of course, people at university,
but you're constantly learning,
and you're always growing, and you're always getting past the next hurdle and the next assessment, and surprising yourself at how well you do, like that sort of thing. And and then I graduated in an economic downturn, so I think I needed a bit of comfort zone, because I was like, oh my god, I need to be employed, I need that stability. And then a decade later, and I'm still there. I was still there. I think that was definitely a comfort zone for me. And that's what I think, that if you have big dreams and you're not going for them, you're probably in that comfort zone area.
I had someone off the back a post I put on LinkedIn, because I just recently moved house like a week ago today, and I put on a video about dealing with change, and why it's essential to be able to cope with change, because that's the way you grow. So you need to be constantly changing, constantly growing, constantly learning. And I'd linked change to growth, and this person had asked me why. And to be honest, it took me a wee while, and I was like, oh, I just thought that was everyone thinks change is related to growth. The seasons change, plants change and when they grow. I don't know, I'm not a gardener, which is a bit of an issue with the new house. But yeah, it took me a wee while to actually come up with a response to this guy. And I think the way I described it is, so I've got a little girl, she's going to be 2 in November, and when I see her, she's changes like every day. Like she's learned a new word, she's learned how to hold a pen differently, so she's getting better at writing, and well, not writing like scribbling, but you know what I mean. And she's learned how to climb onto something, we're away to start potty training, and it's like constant development. And I think as humans we are made to be constantly changing and constantly development. And I don't know at what stage in adulthood that like something happens and we're all like, oh, let's just stay, and that's the comfort zone, that's it. Because you're like, I quite like it here, I quite like this house, I quite like this car, and this is what I wanted. And it's like maybe you had set a goal and you've got to that goal, but then you just settle, you just accept it. And I think that's what a comfort zone is. I'm quite happy with that description.
And I think it possibly might be that you don't want to lose what you've got.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
and this can come to friends and lead us nicely into other people's success and other people's comfort zones.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what a comfort zone is, for sure.
Because I think when you do change, like so, I'd gone back to university, so that was a massive change. I was making new friends at uni and I was away from my usual situation, so I didn't have as much time to spend with the people I'd usually spend time with, so that's affected our relationships obviously. And yeah, I think that because you might not think, I don't even think it has to be just success in other people's comfort zones. We picked that for a reason and we'll go on to that. But I just think when you are changing, you might not have got to the level that you're wanting to get to yet, but when people see that you are actually doing something different, you're moving forward, maybe not successful as such, but when you're changing, then people get a bit scared. They're like, oh man, I'm going to have to change, or they'll be like questioning themselves like, oh, but their house was nice enough as it was, why are they wanting to move forward? And
I think it's not getting into the resentful scenario. That's not what it is. It's more about like being like you're maybe not as ready for change as obviously they are. Yeah. And I think and that's how you can sort of have these conversations, and when we give you some examples just now, you'll understand and you'll maybe resonate it back to your life. There's a great woman, just her super fan just now, I keep talking about her, Rachel Hollis. She's wrote a book called Girl, Wash Your Face. She's so American, like, amazing. And you have to say the title like that, like in a fake American accent.
Because if you say in Scottish, Girl, Wash Your Face, it's not got the same impact, is it?
Girl, wash your face. And so she has built up a business, more of a lifestyle sort of business. She started, it was more around family recipes, and she would like post great like one pot recipes and stuff for grown family. I think she got about 4 kids, and then she got really successful and she wrote a book, and authors told her, oh no, this is it's not got enough sex in it, you have to put more sex in this book. She was like, hell no, like this is my book. And then she launched it herself and it became like a mega bestseller. And so she's got a series of books. She now does motivational speaking and things like that at different conferences. And her husband, so they've been together forever, I think. And when she was getting really successful, he then started to be like, like that was my comfort zone. And I'm not entirely happy with this. And what should I do? And it's like she had leveled up, but in every aspect of her life. So she was like going hard on the fitness, to be a busy person, to have all this energy, to run all her businesses. And he had sort of let himself go. He'd maybe put on a little bit of weight, and I had a bit of a dad bod, and he was looking after the kids and things, but he was like, I really want to do this marathon. I don't think I can do it. I think it was some sort of triathlon or something like that actually, and and he was like, oh, I don't know what to do, like my wife's so successful now, like, oh, I just feel sort of done in, like a bit defeatist attitude. And that was because she was leveling up and he wasn't quite ready to go. And that was part of his comfort zone, like he wasn't ready to make that next step. And it's great.
How did you deal with that?
So he leveled up. She forced him. Well, she didn't force him to. Her actions forced him to in his head to say, she's getting all the success.
Left behind.
Exactly. And I want to look good in these like nice little photo shoots and things that we're going to do, and I don't know, like they're getting more coverage on TV and things like that. So they wanted to be, you know, this sort of like power couple and the lifestyle couple. And he was like, well, I better do my bit. And that, he leveled up as well. So, and he's great as well.
I'm talking about it from like a inter-relationship, like husband and wife point of view, because I think the way that we were speaking about it before was all external, so like wider family, like parents, siblings, aunties, uncles, whatever, and then your friends as well. So I'm thinking about it from a internal.
And even as simple as like for our wedding, I went on a like crazy focused fitness routine. Like I was just so in it, and like my eating and everything was like bang on for like, it was a good 6 months before our wedding, whereas my husband was still like ordering takeaways and stuff, and I just had to remove myself from the situation. I was like, no, I was like, if you're going to do that, that's fine, but I'm not doing it at all. Luckily he has like a super like physical job. Well, he had at the time. Not quite not quite so much now. He's sort of moving away from all that. But like I had to remove myself, and it's funny, you know, when someone else like moves into a different sort of comfort zone. Like we would always go out for breakfast, and I said to him, no, can't do it. I was like, give me my egg whites and spinach, like I'm ready. And he was like, what? I used to add some hot sauce in though. Yeah, that was my little flavour in there. Egg whites and spinach. But and he would say, well, what are we doing for date night? And I'm like, well, we can't go out for dinner. I said, because that doesn't make me feel good. Like having to go out, you know what I mean? And like I'm got my PT. I always had a PT on a Saturday morning. So that'd be good all week. I'd have a wee treat maybe on a Saturday. If I'd done well. I was really, really strict with myself. And then and he was saying, well, what should we do for a date night? You know, go out. I know, and that's what I would say. Like, let's take the dogs out, or you know, we'll do a Monroe on a Sunday, or something like that. So it just changes.
So much revolves around food.
Totally. And so anyone out there, if you've had a similar experience with your other half, and you see them leveling up in life, it could be, you know, through their diet or exercise, or even through their business, and you think, damn, I'm gonna have to start doing something. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be the one that people look at and you're like, oh, how are they together? So, but it's so true. So that's a comfort zone thing, for sure. Absolutely. And that's success as well. So it's success, you know, in your fitness and your well-being as well.
You can make it quite competitive. Me and my husband have both got a race on, the first to be earning over 100 grand. So I think you can make it fun as well. But so let's take it back to what we were talking about friends and family who don't have a business. Because that's a massive differentiator. Is that the word?
Yeah, it's funny. What's your experience with that?
The don't understand so much because they are stuck, and I don't think they might not be in a comfort zone. Like we spoke about the comfort zone being like a Monday to Friday 9 till 5. There are people in that situation who are still progressing. They want to be in the corporate world, and they are. I know women who are smashing glass ceilings all over the place. But I think running your own business is a different kettle of fish, and I think like. So for example, I've got the wee one, and sorting my childcare for when my husband's away. He does month on, month off, and I get up even when my husband's away home, I still get up before anyone else gets up and have my couple of hours in the morning to get myself set up right. Have a
I'm
chat
smiling
and stuff.
because we actually have a chat at 5:30 every morning, believe it or not.
And like old me, like pre-healers mindset stuff would be like, you do what? You phone someone at 5:30 in the morning. That's the middle of the night.
And it's like, we'll each take it in turns to phone, and I see my phone and I'm like, oh, Carol, I don't want to speak to you. I'm always good. I don't really, but you can hear us and we're like,
morning. I'm normally like,
and then we just fly
a
out
bit of toast and a cup of tea and I'll be fine.
But what we do is we set ourselves up for success. So we always have a series of questions that we go through, and it's basically to review our previous day to make sure we're on track for our goals that week and our day.
It's accountability.
And that's how we set ourselves up for success.
But our friends who don't have businesses think they are insane. I think my husband, both our husbands are called Gary, so when we talk about Gary, we might be talking about our own Garys. But I think they both think we're a little bit nuts.
And that's like this morning I went made my husband some breakfast and stuff before he went to work, and he was like, have you been up since 5? I'm like, I'm always up since 5. And he's like, have you actually been in work? And I'm like, what do you think I do? Why would I get out of my bed to just watch TV? No. Like, I'm not that motivated. That sounds scary. I'm not that motivated to watch TV.
No, but you're motivated to speak to me.
That's exactly.
Thank you. But other people who don't understand that, and I think that's the key, is with success in other people's comfort zones, is a case of they just don't understand. It's not what they do, so they think it's weird. And like I said, my husband works offshore, so a lot of people are like, oh no, how do you deal with that? I was like, well, I kind of have to. Like, he's away half the time, but we just have to get on with it. And I think it is just a lack of understanding. Actually, one of my friends' partner has just started working away, not offshore, but he goes away for periods of time before, and it's not something that he'd ever done before. So they were like used to seeing each other every single night, and we were speaking about this yesterday, and I was like, oh, do you not find now that you prioritise your time together a lot more now? So when he's home, you'll make an effort, you'll go out on dates, you'll go and do whatever, and you'll just appreciate them a bit more when they're there, because you know that you don't take it for granted.
That's good. I definitely take my husband for granted.
Oh, poor Gary.
He takes me for granted as well, though. But
you still have date night once a week.
Well, we try to. But then we always have a routine, like we always take the dogs out at night and we recap our days and talk about our goals and our visions. Anyway, separate.
Okay, so dealing with, I feel like we need to give some examples of how this can cause a little bit of conflict. So I want to speak about moving house. So I've just moved house. I've not had any experiences like this yet, but I remember my mum telling me before they had close friends who they would like have dinner with each other every other weekend and stuff, and take it in turns going between each other's houses. And my mum and dad got a new house, and they came to it once and then never set foot in it again. And the only reason, like, nothing happened, it was just they just couldn't handle the fact that mum and dad had moved up a level. And I don't think that people didn't have a house that was anything less than what mum and dad had moved into. I think they just kind of even pegged, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And
so your mum and dad had been more successful in business?
No, like...
And had bought a bigger house?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But they'd moved up to the same level this couple were on already. So they'd not overtaken them or anything like that, but the couple just couldn't handle it. They wanted to be the ones in the relationships where they were the ones that were doing better, and because mum and dad had started to do a bit better, they didn't cope.
So your mum and dad basically messed up their view of the world.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, Lisa.
That was their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So they knew the hierarchy.
Yeah.
They knew that they maybe felt socially that they were a level above.
Yeah.
And then when your mum and dad reached that level as well,
Yeah.
they were like, whoa, wait now.
Exactly. And while I've not had any issues with people in my new house, my old neighbour, who is a good friend, she actually watches the wee one day a week. She, when I told her I was moving, she was crying. I don't know, literally near enough, pretty close. And it wasn't from a nasty point of view. Like, she is absolutely delighted at our new house, and we're only like 10 minutes walk, so she still can come round and stuff. But to start with, she was like, oh, but what will I do? So it's not oh, amazing, you're getting a new house. It was, how does that affect me? But not from a selfish point of view, but I think we all are a little bit. Because you have to look out for number one.
Yeah.
As they say. But it was more of a, oh, you're not going to be next door, so I won't be able to pop round and have a cup of tea. I won't be able to get you to sign for a package. I won't be able to ask you to let the dogs out and all this stuff. So it's not in a nasty way at all, just that's how we're programmed.
So it's a reliability.
Yeah. And if you are stepping up and changing, and leaving your, not leaving your friends behind, that sounds so nasty, but if you're changing and they're not changing, you are leaving them behind. And it's not a case of you trying to be better than them, that's not it. Personally, it doesn't, like, we're only here once, we have to look out for ourselves. And it's not a case of I want to try and be better than you, I want to be better than I was yesterday. So it's based on looking at yourself rather than other people.
Yeah, like you're in competition with yourself.
Yeah, but you need to find people that've got that same mindset.
And surround yourself. And, if these people don't have it, like your mum and dad probably experienced, like, they'll just, move away. And, like, they'll
be the ones that phase out,
Yeah.
phase you out, because you'll be having different conversations, and you'll be talking about stuff and they'll be like, whoa, what?
Comments on a postcard, please.
Yeah.
Who says postcard?
Dunno.
Comments. Anyone that's actually experienced that would be helpful
Share.
to understand, about other people's comfort zones and things. I think it's when you mess up someone's view of the world and their expectations for where they think you're going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what's going on in someone else's life. You don't know where they're going to be.
No. And I've had someone comment on my relationship with my husband, saying, oh, but it's all right for you. You've got your husband, you've been together for ages, blah, 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 blah. It's not a walk in the park. Being together with someone for like 10 years. You and Gabby been together 10 years as well.
14.
14, oh my god, yeah. So it's not easy. You don't just have the perfect marriage straight out of the box. That's not a thing. It's hard work. You need to put effort into it. What you get out of anything is based on what you put in. And that's the same with relationships, with businesses, with jobs, whatever it is the level of input you are willing to give. Gives you the results.
That's so right. And I think especially when you grow together and you find out who you are. I mean, we were only 18 when we were together. You don't know who you are when you're 18. 18-year-olds watching this, you don't know who you are when you're 18. And you grow together and you develop different interests, and you go into different career paths and education. And when we were together, he was an apprentice and I was at college. Yeah. And
things have changed.
Things completely changed. And your priorities change and things like that. And like you say, like you get out what you put in. Like we talk basically every lunchtime, and obviously we'll speak in the morning, we'll speak at night. And I remember a family member commenting on that actually and saying, "What, you speak like 3 times a day?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, like it's just something that we've naturally done. We always do it, and it's just to kind of check in, like, how are you?" And it's like it's just you get out what you put in. So if you're putting in a little bit of effort, to find out how that person's feeling that day and to find out how they're doing, then you're always going to be around for each other.
And I think with having a husband that works offshore, obviously it takes a bit more of an effort when he's away to schedule calls, and which is sometimes hard if he's on nights and things. I've got the wee one, but we need to do it, and just to be conscious of updating and saying good night and good morning. And also sometimes I'm saying good morning and he's saying good night if he's on nights and stuff. So, but it's just again, it comes back to what you're putting into something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you were going to speak about an example of people in network marketing. What was that?
In their comfort zones.
Yeah.
What about the whole process?
In the business, I think.
Yeah, I mean this comes back to like skewing people's view of the world, I suppose. So network marketing, I think in the future it's going to be what network marketing company do you work for, rather than you work for network marketing. You know what I mean? Like what brand do you represent? Because of the way that things are being sold. I mean, high street shops are going down the pan, and a lot of people do most of their online shopping, so it makes sense for a new sort of model to come into play. And I think, I mean, it's obviously been around for a lot of years, 40 years, 50 years, something like that. But people buy products from recommendations because, one, it's faster to get what you want. So say you were to buy like a lipstick, right?
I think it's a natural thing as well, because I'd be like, oh my god, Lisa, I love your lipstick, where did you get it?
Yeah, and I'd say, oh, this is where I got it from. Oh, perfect.
But instead it's you.
Yeah, and you've already seen it on someone, you've already they've already said, oh, it's amazing, you've maybe tried it, and you're like, great, I'll go and buy it. And it's quicker because you're not upset when you get that delivery and it's not quite what you thought. So network marketing. So I think in terms of the whole process and things, it can be a lonely place for a network marketer if they're not surrounding themselves with the right people. And I think when you get a little bit of success in network marketing, people don't understand, like, how does that work for you? Or people don't understand the concept of network marketing, that you're leveraging people and you're leveraging time, and that's how you're making money.
It's just something different.
It's something different from the normal, and this is what causes the issue. Like,
I think it's the earning potential as well.
And the earning potential, and like you say, there's no it's an entrepreneurial stroke franchise way of doing things, in terms of there is really no glass ceiling. Obviously, something happens to a company, I don't know, it could all be pulled away because you don't own the business. But again, when you have a brand and a franchise, that's the same for everything. But people get upset with the whole scenario.
Money.
Like, and
looking for a catch.
They definitely look for a catch, and I think any network marketer will tell you that someone will say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. I mean, what even is a pyramid scheme?
Well, it's illegal, so
completely illegal.
Definitely not. I know what a pyramid scheme is, but that's not the point of this podcast. But people look for holes, and they'll
pull out negatives.
And if you hear like in property, people look for the worst thing. Oh, but what about Brexit? Oh, what about the next crash? Like,
last year, that landlords are being penalised for taxing, and the government keeps changing the goalposts. The government changes the goalposts for everything. Let me just tell you that. And they'll change the goalposts for your pension, that you're sitting there and you're employed.
They've done it for the amount of fish you could land. My dad used to be a deep sea fisherman, not our total random out of context thing. There's a bit of relevance in there. But they change everything, so you just have to get on with life.
Goals are always changed. Always changed.
And it's your outlook on it, and the people you surround yourself with and their outlook that impact you as well. So so we've spoke about what a comfort zone is and different experiences we've had with upsetting people's comfort zones, and some examples. What about dealing with it? How do you deal with people when, I don't know, what aspect do you want to look at? Do you want to look at, to start with, like, so if I've upset you in your comfort zone and you're like, I can't handle that, and people like that girl that phased you out, how did you deal with it?
oh, there's not a lot I can do. I mean,
You just have to get over it.
yeah, like if someone doesn't want to be your friend, girls and boys,
There's other people to
there's
be your
nothing you
friends.
can do about
Yeah.
it. And that's kind of the way you have to sort of look at it. It's
Be
almost
okay with
like
it. It's their drama, it's not your drama.
exactly, and just keep doing what you're doing and be consistent with it. I mean, if they're your real friends and obviously like your close family and things like that, they will always have your back. They will. You just have to ride out this little phase and this season in terms of what they're thinking.
The people who aren't going to phase you out, like you said, like your close family and things, maybe just limit or guard what you share.
Yes, yeah, and that's about protecting yourself.
Yeah.
Not protecting yourself from harm, but your mind from harm.
Yeah.
So
you don't need these negatives.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about this, that you probably have analysed what you're ready to do from all different aspects, and you've dealt with that. You've put it in the right boxes in your mind. You know exactly what you're doing, and you've decided you're going. You know there is a risk, etc., etc. But someone will come up and say, "Oh well, did you hear that person that you're ready to do this with has done this before?" Or what about all the people that the network marketing business didn't work for? Or what about this person that was involved in property and then lost it all in the crash of 2008? There are always going to be, and it's not from a nasty point of view.
No.
Like this is, we're talking about like mums and dads and brothers and sisters and aunties and uncles. These people are the ones that are trying to safeguard you.
Yeah.
And they think by bringing this up that it's to help you. But sometimes it's not. But that's, with the best intentions, they are the ones that are going to get in your mind, get in your head, and have you question it. So just limit what you tell people. And this isn't, you have to be a closed book and not tell anyone anything. I couldn't handle that. I tell everyone everything.
Yeah.
Maybe too much to the extreme, I think. I love an overshare. But yeah, just watch what you say. I'd mentioned, I can't remember if it was on this podcast or another one, that I've joined a housing association board, and I was telling someone and they're like, "Oh great, so you're going to help house junkies?" And I was like, well, potentially. But it's just a lack of understanding. The people who have to get housing through authorities have a lot of hoops to jump through, and even junkies need houses at the end of the day. And it's just a way of protecting yourself by watching what you tell people. Or you could prepare yourself and have your answers already in your head, although then that's you constantly on the defensive. That's not a nice way to live. If you're constantly thinking, "Oh, I know they're going to say this, so this is what I'm going to say back." Or just be like, and then just ignoring whatever they say, don't get dragged in.
Yeah, one of our mentors says that, you know, if people are sort of going down the rabbit hole with you and, you know, pulling apart your business or your ideas, just in life, just in general, just your goals, because they don't fit with their comfort zone, you just have to nod along and then ask them a question about themselves. Like, so how are you doing? So how's your business going? How's your work going?
He doesn't even get into it. He just goes, someone's like, "So how's business?" He just goes, "Yeah, good. What about you? How are you getting on?" Yeah. Just totally deflects
and
it
that's
back.
it.
And that's not being rude. It's just avoiding it.
It's deflecting it back
and not avoiding.
Just keeping focus. So that's it. Yes.
Yeah. So today we have spoke about success in other people's comfort zones, and probably gone off on a million tangents, but never mind.
We've given you a few good examples about different aspects in your life and how this resonates. So if you have any feedback or comments or any shares actually as to how this has happened in your life, then leave a comment below
on the YouTube channel. Or if you're listening to the podcast, well, you could go to YouTube or reach out to us on LinkedIn. So thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, please give us a wee review. And if you could share it with anyone who you think may need to hear this, that would be fantastic. And
finally, subscribe to our channel, follow us on iTunes, and connect with us on LinkedIn.